Hello, I'm Bert Wilson, and I'm a board member of Pangea World Theater. Welcome to This is How We Stand, a multidisciplinary artistic exploration curated by Suzanne Victoria Cross. Now I'd like to read our land acknowledgement. Pangea World Theater gratefully acknowledges that we are on the sacred traditional lands of the First Peoples of Turtle Island. For Pangea, it is an honor to live, work, and create art and community alongside Dakota, Ojibwe, and all First Peoples in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. We invite you to acknowledge the First Peoples and lands where you are currently. Please name them in the chat. To learn more, visit the website indicated. This is How We Stand as part of Pangea's event series, Another World is Possible, Pangea Artists in Vision. On behalf of Pangea's board, I'm excited to welcome you all, and now I'd like to turn it over to Ricardo Beaird.
Thanks, Bert. Hello, everyone. Hi, everybody on Facebook and YouTube land. Before we get started, I know that this is a Zoom virtual experience, and I just want to remind you that you have a body, and bodies crave stretching and movement and squeezes and hugs and rubs. So I want you to remember as we are showing this work that you have a body, and that body has needs. Water, hugging up next to a pet. I want you to feel really comfortable in your body when you're with us in this space. My name is Ricardo Beaird. You can use any pronoun for me, and I'm here as a facilitator, as a theater artist, as a believer in art to challenge, to connect, to catalyze, and as the president of the Suzanne Cross fan club. Suzanne has dreamed up a wonderful ensemble of artists, including herself, to share some art tonight. Here's how it's going to work. Each Black artist have responded to their unique experiences of navigating our healthcare system and the impact it has had on their health, their wellness, and care practices, especially during this pandemic. You will witness these artistic expressions tonight. After each piece, I'll ask you a couple of questions that I want you to respond to in the chat. Those questions will be, what's standing out to you? What emotions, what feelings are coming up for you? And what does it remind you of? Or what memories are coming up as you witness this piece of art? So again, standing out to you, emotions, feelings, memories, or things it reminds you of. After all of the three artists show their work and y'all have responded to it, we'll talk about what just happened, and then you'll see them do another artistic response live. The first piece is from the architect of this convening, my small intro. This person is a performer, an artist, space holder for artists, teaching artists, professional hype woman, and I think of an expert in centering care in every space she shines in, and she's a really good friend, Suzanne Cross. I'm going to pass it over to you, Suzanne, to introduce yourself further and tell us about the piece you created.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. I'm also the #1 fan of the Ricardo Beaird fan club, president and treasurer. Yes, my name is Suzanne Victoria Cross, and I am just so honored and overwhelmed to be here with all of you tonight. I identify in a few ways. Again, my name is Suzanne Victoria Cross, she, her, hers. Like Ricardo said, I am an artist of many different disciplines, stage manager, performer, writer. The most important way that I identify is the caregiver and daughter for my mother, Laurel Osterberg. I've been caring for her for almost 10 years now, as she's been navigating the ins and outs of the progression of Alzheimer's. My mother is the most important human being, period, and the most important human being to me. And through those 10 years, There's been so much joy and gifts and so much also pain and confusion and loneliness while we have navigated how we stand together for each other in these new roles and how the healthcare system has and has not stood for our success. I didn't really know how to share that experience with all of you. So the one way I knew how to do it was with art. And the art form I chose was with a snapshot of our morning. So I've written a little piece to welcome you to come along with myself and Laurel Osterberg through our morning in a piece called This Is How We Stand. This is how we stand. 6 a.m., mask on, gloves up, her feet evenly spaced, firmly on the ground, back straight, arms out in complete trust. This is how we stand. My legs bent, back straight, arms looped under, around, near her. Deep inhale of prayer for steady feet and patience. This is how we stand, always on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, push. This is how we stand. This is how we stand, 6:15 a.m., running late, no time, her feet evenly spaced, arms out in complete trust. Start making the coffee by spilling the grounds. This is how we stand it. This is how we stand. Change the gloves, check the bloods, the temperature of the sugar and the pressure of the blood. Remember the meds given in groups of 3, always on the count of 3. This is how we stand. 6:45 a.m., glove change, cut fruit, eggs measured, portion out the potion, count less, more, less of more, deep inhale of prayer for steady hands. Airplane, spoon, swim through the air, bite in, bite on the floor, bite in, bite on the floor, laughter, sweet fruit and purple cloth bibs and wet wipes. This is how we stand. This is how we stand, 7:40 a.m., change gloves, wash dishes, wash breath. Always remember to count to 3, breath in, count to 3, her feet evenly spaced, firmly on the ground, back straight, arms out, in complete trust. This is how we stand. My legs bent, back straight, arms looped under, around, near her, deep inhale of prayer for steady feet. This is how we stand, always on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, push. This is how we stand. This is how we stand it. This is how we stand. This is how we stand it. This is how we stand. This is how we stand it. Glove change, brush teeth, wash face, underarms, under chest, belly, wipe, rinse, wipe, repeat. Prince, Janice, and Aretha guide us to loop arms and steady feet. Deep inhale of prayer for a steady heart. A lifetime passes. 8:55 a.m. Alarm sounds shatter the break, the silence of coffee sips and the first puff of a cigarette. Zoom meeting starts in 5 minutes. Thank you all so much for letting me share that. Now I'd love to welcome back Ricardo Beaird.
Oh my gosh, round of applause, Suzanne. Thank you so much. I could say a lot about how that impacted me, but I'm not going to say too much because I want you all to say something in reaction to this beautiful piece that Suzanne has written and performed. I'll give you about a minute to respond to Suzanne's work in the chat. Here are some guiding questions. So retina burn. So what's something that is standing out to you? What emotions are coming up for you? What does it remind you of? Just give you some time to enter into the chat any responses to Suzanne's work. Thank you again, Suzanne, for that beautiful work. Thank you all so much for your responses. We're going to move to the next artist, someone whose work I've become more familiar with over the past year, whose work has been the source of both little and big moments of joy for me, and prompted some deep reflection on where I come from, where I want to be, and how I want to show up for the people I love and care about. I'm going to pass it to visual artist, community connector, Briana Williams.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Ricardo. I am so glad to be here. Definitely grateful to be amongst all these creatives present tonight. I am Briana Williams, she, her pronouns. I am a self-taught artist, visual artist, published illustrator, muralist, community engagement artist, teaching artist. Yeah. So you're about to see the artwork that I did for tonight. What I used was ink and watercolor on paper. So just some background. I've had 15 years in healthcare, a number of settings, home care, memory care, and I worked on the hospice and oncology unit. But as of recent, I became a freelance artist, not working at any of those settings any longer, and focusing on my own health recently and having some scares. I just got back to the holistic way of living and practicing self-care. So it's like I became my own caregiver. So that's what inspired this piece.
So powerful. Briana, thank you so much. I'm not gonna say much again because I want the audience to share their first reactions to this piece. I'll give you some time to respond in the chat. Again, here are the guiding questions. Retina burn, what's something that's standing out to you? What feelings, what emotions are coming up for you? And what does this remind you of, or what memories are coming up? So take some time to respond to Briana's beautiful work in the chat.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home again. I'm coming home. I'm coming home again.
Thank you so much, Briana, for that gift. And thank you to the witnesses for your gifts and gifts of responses in the chat. We're gonna keep moving. Next up, we have a movement piece by healing artist, choreographer, dancer, director, and someone who will always remind us that even though our circumstances might be raggedy, that we are not raggedy. DejaJoelle shared that with me We are
Absolutely.
not raggedy. We are divine. We are to be revered. We are powerful, and we are deserving. I'm going to pass it to DejaJoelle.
Hey y'all in this Zoom room, and hey y'all in the Facebook Live. I hope y'all got some snacks and some water and stuff, you know, a journal, all the things. I'm DejaJoelle. I'm a cultural healing curator and healing artist. The moving piece that you're about to see today is in response to, of course, This Is How We Stand by Suzanne Cross. And I really wanted to focus on standing and the many ways that our bodies create a foundation for us to thrive upon. How in different positions we can like move our arms, even when we're sitting, like these it's just like an abundance of foundations that our body just provides for us. And then we say, I'm gonna add a little flair on top of that. I'm able to be on top of that. I'm able to support another person on top of that. I'm able to do so many different things. And so for this movement piece, I really wanted to focus on how we stand, how we create foundations for each other, and specifically focusing on that 1, 2, 3, that brace to hold another human being, that 1, 2, 3, that brace to hold yourself in some of your darkest hours, that 1, 2, 3, when it's time to lift something heavy, when we're like trying something, we're taking a leap out on faith. So I really wanted to focus on that and grasping at memories, grasping and holding on to things as we begin, as we stand. How do we hold on to things? How do we grab things? How do we take snapshots of memories and snapshots of people, places, and things? That's a lot of layers, but that's what I focus on in my body as I experience this ritual. And I hope you all enjoy this ritual as well. Thank you.
Ooh, all right. Chills. Y'all know the deal. I'm gonna ask you to respond into the chat. Your first responses to DejaJoelle's movement. The questions that can guide you are right here. So, what are the retina burn? What's standing out to you? What emotions, what memories are coming up for you?
Now we're working through changes in different arrangements, and that's just how it goes. Baby, that's just how it goes. One thing still remains. I love it the same. That's just how it goes. Baby, that's just how it goes. And 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 that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes.
Thank you all for responding into the chat. Thank you to the artists who shared their work, their vulnerability, their expression. I'm going to invite the artists to come be spotlit so we can start a conversation about what just happened. Welcome, Suzanne. Welcome, DejaJoelle. Welcome, Briana. So I guess the framing question in response to what you just saw is what connections are you making between this art and this American healthcare system that we find ourselves participating in? Suzanne, you said that you wanted to offer this snapshot of these moments with your mother in the morning. I'm wondering what it was like to write that and what it was like to perform that in this space next to these pieces.
Oh, yeah, I think, again, I've been caring for my mother for almost a decade, and I associate that with also my navigation of my own mental health, of my growing up into trying to be an adult. There's so many things that I feel take our language away, but there isn't exact ways to put into words what it all encompasses, especially being a caregiver. The more I try to describe it, the further it gets away from me, because it's visceral, it's in my heart, it's in my bones, it's ancestral, it's older than me, it's born after me, it's this whole piece. And so I wanted to share that with people, and I couldn't figure out how. And this was a happy accident. I had a time crunch to submit something. I had an hour and I hadn't written anything. And I was trying to stand with my mother. Which to me is the most basic thing that she wants to do, that sometimes we can do it and sometimes we can't. And sometimes we can do it halfway, and sometimes it's so painful, and sometimes it's so easy. And when something that easy comes to her, the world should stop and rejoice. There should be a freaking parade, and there isn't. And no one gets to know that joy inside of me, and how I can tell people, my mom helped wash her hair today. She helped wash her hair today. And anything else that happened to you today is not that important. No, it is. And I love it all. But what that means and how to express that, and feeling that was so far away. And I just wanted to prompt that with others, that maybe through, again, this act of artistic empathy that we're trying to show for each other, maybe through other mediums, that could get closer. Maybe there isn't words. Maybe there's visual. Maybe it's in my body. Maybe it is all those things, and seeing it put into such a powerful, like trained, beautiful body, like DejaJoelle, seeing you put that in, and how the release that was for me to witness that from you. And Briana, to see the colors, the darkness, the center, seeing myself in a painting that I hadn't seen before we were tucking this. That connection is so deep for me personally. So this has already been incredible.
Thanks, Suzanne. Yeah, I'm finding incredible healing in witnessing this work. Briana, I'm wondering, there's something you said around like you're starting this journey of being a caregiver for yourself. I felt that in your piece, and I'm wondering where are you in that journey?
Yeah. I've just been like changing my lifestyle, like just my daily living. But art has been my main source of healing. It's brought so much joy, healing, opportunity, just overall everything, and something that I take every day like medicine. And I like to share with everybody else. So I like to give that medicine daily on my Instagram whenever I can. And I feel like, that's what it's about, connection and sharing empathy and love and our gifts with each other.
I feel that medicine. I feel like I take that medicine, like experiencing your work through the Exhale coloring book that you did, and in this piece of this, like, reclaiming of self, centering of self. It's really, really beautiful work. DejaJoelle, I just want to pass to you. How are you feeling seeing this work next to other beautiful pieces?
We'll be going on tour in a couple months. So if you guys want to get your tickets, I'm just kidding. That was a manifestation. Okay. But it seemed like everything came together, and and it's not even like having to come together, just understanding there's an understanding that there's participation in different areas, like they're in different locations at different times, living in different bodies and different hearts and spirits. And it's like, damn, when we all come together and participate together, like it has no other alternative but to work. Right? Like, like we're saying the same thing, but we're like, it's just a wonderful reminder of the multi-dimensional, polyrealmic, like super vast people we are. And so it's just like, I feel like everybody's just singing their own note. We get together and it feels like harmony. It is harmony. So to witness it was a wonderful reminder. To know that other people are witnessing is a wonderful reminder that there are other people participating in the same song, right? And it's like, dang, we're all doing, like, sometimes, like I said, Ricardo, sometimes we get confused and think we're raggedy, but really we're doing the same, like we're really doing the work. And when we talk about the work, sometimes we feel like we need to be up front, we need to be on the front line, we need to be doing X, Y, and Z. Everybody has to see the work, but there's different ways that we participate. And just like how Briana talked about learning to be a caregiver for herself, like that is participation, because you taking care of yourself, you are a reflection of us, a reflection of community, a reflection of the people that you love and care for. So like, show me that I'm bomb and gorgeous and take care of myself, like it's so good. So I feel more in community. I don't feel alone. I feel like I'm part of a real like Baptist church, like choir. And that makes me feel really good. Thanks for asking, Ricardo.
Yeah, I want to be in that choir. I'm in that choir. I'll be a tenor. I something you just said, DejaJoelle, of like, you know, feeling a part of something. I know that, like, from my experience and experience of people that I love, something that I actually felt hearing Suzanne's piece was this feeling of navigating this healthcare system. Navigating care can sometimes feel really lonely, like you're by yourself in this work. So I'm so like grateful and thankful to these reminders, these manifestations of that there are things that we cannot, like, I don't know, put into words, but that there are people who know by movement, by the expression that you have, by the questions you're asking. Like, there's this community. Like, so I'm wondering, like, this is us for the whole room. Like, when have you felt in community with other like caregivers, and at what times do you feel kind of on an island by yourself? And we are not afraid of silence.
I'll jump in. Yeah, the loneliness is deep. It's deep. It's also, it kind of echoes what I was saying earlier. Like, the more you try to, for me, the more I try to, again, put words, expressions, this is what it is, the further it's away, because it's so profound. And the moments that I felt lonely is navigating the system that wasn't built for me, wasn't designed for me, actually was designed to isolate me and those who are dealing with chronic illness, mental illness, those that are navigating things that do not fit into these, you know, round holes that we have. Anybody who's a little, you know, off of that, it's just, you're felt othered, thrown away, and that something that's supposed to be working for you isn't for you because the thing you're navigating, you know, doesn't fit into that box. So that's, and it comes from, you know, holding my mother and multiple different specialists, and the top specialists with the best credentials on their walls and all of these accolades, and not wanting to hear the voice of the person that's with her every second of the day, who knows when she moves her shoulder this way, what that means, who knows when she favors her right leg and the tremors in her right hand and the curling of her toes, what that means, that I know every bit about this woman. But because you have this paper on your wall, you know more of what's happening inside of her. And the loneliness also echoes that my experience as a caregiver isn't valued in that. And to me, that the community piece that comes from also those who have never been caregivers, have never navigated what I'm going through, but show up messy, show up in the only way they know how, show up with love, and then just are present. Ricardo, I'm going to call you out for a minute, if that's okay. There was a moment that I was in a show. I had to be on stage, and my mother was in the hospital. And I didn't know what to do as a caregiver. You can't schedule. Am I just not going to do the thing that I do, which is create art? And she's in the hospital. I didn't know what to do. The doctors weren't communicating with me. I just need someone to sit with her and make sure they didn't do something wackety with my mom. I don't know. I just needed someone to look at her. And I called Ricardo. I'm like, can you just stare at her for an hour and a half and I'll be back? And they did. They showed up. They stared at her. I left. I came back. She was in the same place. Because ER is crazy. She was in the same place. But that community, that showing up, that moment of, I don't know what to do. You want me just to look at someone? Because I'm that way. Like, you're not real unless I can touch you and be like, okay, you're good. You're here. And that there just wasn't a question. It was like, I'm coming. And it's that piece that you don't have to do it right. You don't have to do it in a certain way. You just have to show up. Thank you, Ricardo.
Oh. Thank you. saying that. And I feel privileged to be a person that you would call. And I think that leads to kind of not another question, but another like observation that I've noticed about working within these systems, that it's really like, because you are like so ready to go to bat for the person that you're caring for, I feel like it like calls for a fight or flight like response situation, and in that like that shame response, it can be really hard to ask for help. So I'm wondering about y'all's relationship with asking for help outside of your own expertise or what's happening internally for you.
The asking for help piece is real cute to put on an Instagram post and to say like, I'm learning how to ask for help, right? But actually doing the thing, and I do believe like more specifically, and I know just specifically in my family and in Black community, like we don't be asking for help. The goal is to say that we got it, and if we don't got it, act like we got it. You know what I'm saying? And even if it goes unrecognized, even if it's like I'm here 10 hours a day, every day, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And if somebody say, how are you doing? We say, oh, I got it, doing good. Right. And hoping that person will recognize like that please see, oh no, I don't have it. Please offer beyond the, yeah, I'm good. Right. Please say, let me pull you to the side, or let me massage your back, or let me do something like, so there's like this layer of protection that because we've been conditioned to protect ourselves against people that are against us, we also put that shield up for people that are actually trying to care for us or actually like there to help. I feel alone when I tell myself I'm alone and when I act like I'm alone. African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. When I begin to let more people into, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm going through, this is what's heavy for me, what can you take? What is your capacity? You know, and it takes for me to take inventory around like, what's all in my body and in my brain right now, because I feel like I'm at capacity and it's not cute. Like it's all type of stuff on the floor in here. And I need someone to take something. And also when I'm caregiving, I feel like I'm being cared for by the person that I'm caring for, because I can sense them brace a little bit to help me maneuver them to the couch, right? I could see them say like, what do you want to watch today? I hear those little things. And it's like, wow, you're really caring for me. You're asking me if I'm cold. That's so beautiful. And you didn't come alone. Like the more and more you get to, and more so I work with elders, the closer and closer you get up in age, the closer and closer you get up to and closer to divine, right? So I know you don't come alone. I know you don't speak just for yourself. I know you speak from your grandmother's mouth and your great grandmother's mouth. So like, it's jumping in here. It's jumping in here, but I feel the most alone when I tell myself I'm alone and I act like I actually put it into practice that I'm alone.
Beyond the Instagram post of asking, like it's okay to ask for help. How are you navigating asking for help, Briana, as you're on this self-care journey for yourself?
I am definitely agreeing with Deja's saying, but I was trying to like search my memory, like, what am I doing recently? Have I been? I've been putting on that mask and that shield. I can't remember the last time. And it feel like, just, like when you're an artist, you have all these hats and you're just doing it.
I think that's a big piece too of like being like, I mean, you know, as DejaJoelle said, like from my family of origin and like specifically Black folks, it is a, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, like you need to like put on this face, but also as an artist who is in systems that you're kind of the dominant narrative for artists is that we're struggling, that, you know, stuff isn't happening, that we are asking, right? Like I feel that pressure as an artist to be like, I'm good, I don't need anything from anybody, I am independent, and viewing like interdependence as a sign of weakness, as a sign that I can't pursue what one makes me happy, what I think this world needs, right, is art and expression to connect and catalyze action. Like it feels like another layer of like, I can't be a weak person right now. Suzanne, I see you nodding.
Yes. the whole time. Yes. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of my words, but that almost this destructive, toxic form of pride that I used to have with that. Like, I haven't slept in 4 days and I memorized this whole thing and what is food? And I don't need it. What? I do need it. And what is, you know, and that's especially in, again, we're talking about these systems. So especially in like college and in other things, like you were praised for that. Like, oh, you know, she is about to drop, but she memorized that whole thing in a second. And look, you're so thin and this and this and this, because I'm withering away and nobody notices that and says, are you like, is that a sign of health or not health? Not something that should be praised. And it's, yeah, and especially that piece of health equaling weakness, or this form of like revolutionary self-care that I've been doing is just saying, I see a therapist once a week. And I even have like my heart jumps a little bit of, especially in, I mean, I know this applies to a lot of families, but in Black families, in my father, I see him, you would never say that out loud. You would never address mental health. You would never talk about those things. And that for me to be able to say and navigate, I am seeking help from a professional that I have vetted, because I've also seen some wild therapists as well, but I have vetted who can understand and be there for me on my journey, that I am in control of my journey of mental health. And that just saying that out loud is a huge change and shift in me and in my body. And something that I'm really passionate about is how do we talk about these resources and things that are beautiful and are forms of healthy progression of who we are, and not pieces of shame that we should hang and hold and not speak of because it's not appropriate. Oh, nodding, yes.
And just quickly, I just want to throw something out there, because along with mental health, like the healthcare system will gaslight you and make you feel like you don't know nothing, right? And it like have you feel so confused. You're like, so are you saying my grandma's having a hard time breathing, but you're not going to prescribe breath work? You're saying that their lungs are closing, but you're not going to say breathe deeper. You're going to say, I'm going to give you this inhaler. I'm going to give you this medicine. So you mean in this capsule, there's not one fruit or vegetable, there's not a food that has these components. Are you kidding me? Right? And then you just feel like, am I the only one that thinks like this? There's like this cliche, like starving artists, alternative ways of living, like I'm gonna pass away if I don't take this medication. But it's just like, don't try to gaslight me to make me believe that this medication is the only way. Just like in nature, there's always a way, but you want to push a certain. Anyway, mental health, keep it going, be aligned.
I'm wondering, because I guess we're about to wrap up, but I mean, one is there there's a difference between like transformational and transformative. So transformational, I'm sorry to get nerdy, means like navigating a system as is. Like, what are the tools within the system that I can use to survive? And then transformative change means how do we dismantle the system as is and create a new one where we can not just survive, where, you know, a system isn't like trying to gaslight us or kill us, like, right? Like, what can we think beyond what the system is and build something new? So I'm wondering if y'all have any transformational or transformative hopes, desires, dreams for this healthcare system, this caregiving community. Hopes, dreams, possibilities, options. Just let that float in there for a bit.
I have a quick one. I'll try to make it quick. It really echoes what DejaJoelle was just saying. During the tech for this, we had this beautiful conversation also about just community medicine and not what people call like alternative medicine or these holistic practices, but medicine that is from our ancestors, medicine that is from community, medicine that is spiritual, medicine that from inside of us. And I was talking about how my mother speaks to her mother who passed away 20 years ago, and they go on such adventures and her face lights up and it's just so full of love and none of it is scary. It's just beautiful. And I was told these are delusions and here's a pill that she should take to make those go away. To make this medicine, it is a medicine. I know how she reacts after she's visited from her. I know how, and regardless of the reason, there's a piece of that. And the more I talk to communities, they're like, oh, my grandmother did that. Oh, my mother did that. Yes, this. And it becomes normalized. It becomes, and I get navigated with support of how to ease her into an activity maybe that she needs to do, how to hold her through that, how to navigate her to eat when she's in talking to her mother. How do I sustain her health while supporting this beautiful thing that's happening versus denying it, causing hostility, causing her to be in pain and giving her a pill? And that is what I would hope. My wish for the system is to hold those community medicines, that conversation, that piece where you see me, I see you, and we can come together and figure out together how did we navigate something versus pushing it away, denying it because we don't understand exactly what it is. That's one of my hopes.
Definitely in agreement with Suzanne. So just to add a little bit off that, going to say just building beyond exam rooms, like really building with community and all those people that we have encounters with.
Legalize weed, legalize having shrooms, decriminalize mental health issues, and I also feel like it's really important to allow people or inform people of their power to heal themselves as well, that they have a pivotal role in their healing and in their growth. So, yes.
Those are fantastic hopes. And I think they can come to fruition with more conversation, expressions, and actions that we've just witnessed in this. So at this time we're gonna stop discussion, but I'm gonna pass it to you, Suzanne, and y'all are gonna create something for the next 5 minutes, and I'll pass it to you.
Beautiful. Yes, and none of us know what that's going to be. We have no idea. like the initial prompt when we all came together with just the theme of how do we in Black bodies navigate the healthcare system? What do we have to say through our medium? And then we made those pieces and brought them together. Now we are going to create a response to actually the beautiful comments that you've wrote in the chat. You are a part of this. You are a part of us creating an original, never before seen work of art as a response to and for and by the Black community. And we are going to use your words. I am going to pick a few words, maybe repeat something for 5 minutes. I don't know, maybe bounce around through your comments, but your words will be spoken in this piece. And then DejaJoelle will do some movement in response to those words, and Briana will create a visual piece. We'll do this for about 5 minutes. At the end, I will say thank you. DejaJoelle can bring those movements to a close, and then Briana can also do the final paint pencil strokes of the art piece. Thank you all. My chest. My chest. My chest. Felt it in my chest. My chest. My chest. Felt it in my chest. Exhausted in my chest. Beautiful in my chest. Heart-wrenching in my chest. Felt it in my chest. I felt it in my throat. Inspired strength, fortitude in my throat. Felt it in my chest. Gorgeous in my chest. Faith in my chest. I felt it in my throat. Love, peace, honor, haunting in my chest. Haunting in my chest. I felt it in my throat, the haunting in my chest, the sun's radiant power, the sun's power, beautiful power, complex, haunting, beautiful power. I felt it in my throat. I felt it in my chest. I felt the beautiful sun's radiant power. I felt the strength, the absolute beautiful strength, the layers of existence growing through change, through time, and I felt it in my chest. I felt it in my throat. I experienced it in my bones. I'm lonely in my chest. I'm lonely in my throat. I find the medicine in my chest. I find the community medicine in my throat. I find it in my breath. I find it in my throat. I find it in my body. I find it in my bones. I find it in the sky. I find the haunting, yet calming, yet body, yet throat. I find it in my chest. I find love in my chest. I find it fluid in my chest. I find power in my chest. I find the flow in my chest. Thank you. Thank you all for experiencing that with us, creating that with us, being here with that with us. Thank you. As we still have the beautiful movements by DejaJoelle, thank you so much for that. Thank you, Briana, for this beautiful piece of art. I just want to say a few more words as we come to close. You'll see a slide there that says call to action, show me, don't tell me. This is something that I have been screaming in my bones since I was a child. A statement then that was solidified through theater and writing theater. And what does this mean? Show me, don't tell me. These amazing artists have not just told you what it's like to live in our bodies and navigate a system that is broken, that was not created to benefit us. They have used their incredible gifts to put paint to paper, internalize this experience into the body to help create multiple access points to this experience. But I do want to make something clear. When I talk about compassionate empathy, I do not mean void of accountability. I feel like there's been some recent confusion about that fact. What I am saying is exploring the deep act of expressing someone else's journey through a form of expression, how their soul speaks, and letting that guide us to a deeper understanding. Those who have been forgotten, those who are navigating chronic illness, mental illness, those families who have been crying out for support and help. They are not who I am asking to reach out and dig deep and find a pathway to understanding. Actually, what I'm asking them to do is find a moment of rest and a moment of breath, because they've been fighting way too long. And I just want us as a community to hold those that have been fighting and navigating these systems so they can have a moment of breath and rest. And I'm asking for those who have health insurance, those who have access, those who say, well, the support is out there if you want it, you just have to find it. I'm asking those to understand the trauma of searching and clawing for support for 10 years and still running into walls and feeling strangled by red tape. I'm really passionate about the idea of how we create community empathy. How do we create empathy for each other? How do we create a loving, understanding kindness for each other? It can be hard, it can be messy. And it's not always beautiful, but it's necessary for our survival. And I believe that empathy is humanity's strongest tool to turn these thoughts, these hopes, these prayers, these wishes into actions. So I'm asking all of you who are viewing this, all of you who will view this in the future, to go deeper into your daily practice of empathy for someone different than you. Part of that practice is that you can stand in support, solidarity, and love for these amazing Black artists that you saw today who navigate an unfair system every day, but still find a way to put beauty and art in the world. Artists like DejaJoelle, Briana, Ricardo, Cameron Kinghorn, whose beautiful music that you heard throughout this entire presentation. Everyone can also put their thoughts and hopes into actions. I'm asking for us to go deeper into understanding of how these systems are created that are almost impossible to navigate. And asking yourself if you have those benefits of breath in between your day, if you have the ability to not choose to stay on hold for 3 hours with Hennepin County instead of spending time with your mother, if you have that, I'm asking you to reach out, educate yourself about why maybe you think there are all these resources out there, you just have to ask for them. Think about it. Also, there are wonderful Pangea World Theater staff member, Molly Lacey. They are putting mutual aid for our communities, local mutual aid links in the chat. Please look them up. Please support, donate, educate yourself of why the system is so hard to navigate. If you want, oh yeah, I love this quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's so beautiful. And we want to go far and we want to go together. And one last thing I wanted to say, and we want to show us that the support, show us that support. Don't just tell us that it's there. Show us that it's there. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I'd love to welcome Ricardo back.
What do I say? I feel so grateful and full of gratitude to be in y'all's presence. I feel so grateful to witness that work that, one, you prepared, and two, the work that you just made. And I'm grateful at the opportunity to continue this work with y'all, to continue having these conversations, having these methods of expression, having these call to actions. I'm just full of a lot of gratitude for you all, full of a lot of gratitude for Pangea. Thank you so much, Bert, for starting us off. Thank you to Kayla. Thank you to Jenny, Molly, Dipankar, Mina, Adeline, Katya, and let's do this again.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Help me raise a toast to you and everything.